Part of what we love about Disney princesses is their squeaky clean image. But what if someone were to reimagine them in a different way? Stay tuned to find out which Disney princess traded in her golden locks for some truly outrageous hair. Are you new around here? Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more. Now, on to 10 Disney princesses reimagined as modern-day bad girls. Ariel. Ariel is the Disney princess known for her flowing red hair, but also for her naivety. The poor girl sold her voice for a chance to walk on land and trusted Ursula not to try and ruin her chances at true love. It can't get much more naive and gullible than that. But the artist, Neda St. Art, has imagined Ariel with a new spin. In this new version, we don't see the young, naive girl that we did in the movies. We see the street-smart, tattooed woman who probably doesn't tolerate disrespect from anyone. We love the scene that this artist imagined her in. It makes the whole thing look a lot more realistic. Who can't imagine sitting in front of a television on a Friday night playing video games, drinking soda, and eating pizza? We certainly can. This version of Ariel looks super fun. We could definitely see ourselves hanging out with her. And where did she get all of those tattoos? If you look closely, you can see the tattoo of angel wings peeking out from under her hair. The angelic goodness of wings, matched with the fact that she has lots of tattoos, just makes the whole thing look even cooler and rebellious. Great job, Neda St. Art. We are loving this version of Ariel. Jasmine. Jasmine is one of the most relatable Disney princesses. Though she was a princess, she still felt extremely lonely and wondered where her place was in the world. After meeting Aladdin, we definitely wanted to be friends with Jasmine, but after seeing this photo by Neda St. Art, we just want to get to know her even more. In this version of the picture, Jasmine still has her signature long dark hair and beautiful eyes, but has a few extra features. Along with the henna, which isn't so surprising on her arm, she sports a few extra tattoos, like the one of the cross on her arm. She is also wearing a Lakers jersey, which just shows she's probably a sports fan who can hang with the boys. Her long black hair has been given a bit of an edge, with turquoise dye ombre into the bottom of it. But if anyone can do it and look amazing in it, it's Jasmine. She is also sporting some serious gold jewelry, and given the fact that she is the princess of an entire kingdom, we bet the jewelry is 100% real. Can we see this version of Jasmine in a movie, please? We would love to see how she would interact with Aladdin. Snow White. Snow White was one of the sweetest Disney princesses around. For most of her life, all her friends were woodland animals. And as we all know, in Disney movies, furry animals only flock to nice girls. But her kindness was a little unrelatable. No one is that sweet all the time. So, Neda St. Art decided to draw her with a little edge. In this photo, Snow White still maintains the amazing beauty that caused her stepmother to drive her into hiding. But there seems to be more to her than just that. She has an assortment of tattoos, including little hearts on her fingers. Her nails are painted a deep red that is reminiscent of the apple that caused her to fall into a deep slumber in the movie. But what is really interesting about the photo is how the author managed to bring such an old character in today's time. In this image, Snow White is taking a selfie. What could be more modern than that? She also has an iPhone, which is another hint that this version of Snow White exists closer to today's date than the original release of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs film. We wonder how the story would have gone differently if this version of Snow White had been there. We doubt she would have let her evil stepmother treat her so horribly for all those years. Moana. Moana is one of the newest Disney princesses. Even in her namesake film, she was rebellious. Her father warned her to stay away from the ocean, but she couldn't help but be drawn to it. She eventually went against her father's wishes and went on an adventure on the sea to save her tribe and her family. The version of the Moana in the film was definitely an amazing person in her own right, but this version of her makes her look like even more of a bad girl. Neda St. Art truly has an amazing imagination if she was able to look at the movie and create this new version of the princess. In this photo, Moana looks thoroughly bored, like she would probably rather be out on an adventure than sitting in her room. Again, this character is also taking a selfie, which lets us know that she is in present times. Her style is also pretty cool. She is wearing fishnet stockings under her jeans, which is just a subtle way to let everyone know how much of a bad girl she is. She's completed her look with a simple black choker and a bullnose ring. Altogether, her outfit makes her look so cool, we can't help but be a little bit envious. Is it weird to be jealous of a cartoon? Cinderella. Who is your favorite Disney princess? For many people, Cinderella has always been number one. After all, her home is one of the main attractions at Disney World and has been for years. If you are like us, you have probably watched the movie 100 times. But even though we love her, her character in the movie is a little one-dimensional. All we see of her is her nice side. She is kind to everyone, even her stepmother and stepsisters who thoroughly hurt her. We would have liked to see more of an edge to Cinderella. Being kind is great, but sometimes you have to show people that you are not one to be played with. In Ashy Monster's version of Cinderella, it's clear that this girl should not be messed with. Just look at her. Anyone that can withstand the pain of that many tattoos and piercings is someone whose bad side you don't want to be on. Her red hair dye also adds a layer of mystery to her character. In this image, her classic choker has been changed to one with a little more charisma. This one is lined with spikes that just scream back up. We love this version of Cinderella, but we might not want to bump into her late at night. Pocahontas. When it comes to Pocahontas, it's harder to be more of a boss than her. Not only did she refuse her father's wishes for her to marry someone in her tribe, but she met with the enemy that everyone was afraid of. They had all kinds of weapons that she had never seen, but she wasn't afraid. Instead, she went head first into their camp and eventually brought the two groups together. This version of Pocahontas just adds on to how great she already is. Drawn as part of the Disney Hardcore series, this version of Pocahontas even makes tattoos look like a fashion accessory. Pocahontas' character has always been about self-expression, and these tattoos are just extensions of that. They featured her pet bird and are very colorful. The bright colors in the tattoos could be a nod to how she was always telling John Smith that he needed to be able to paint with the colors of the wind. Even her makeup looks amazing. In the movie, she didn't wear any makeup, but here she sports a smoky eye that is making us extremely jealous. How did she learn how to do makeup so well in the middle of the woods? We need answers. Merida. Merida was probably one of the bravest Disney princesses ever created, which is probably why they named her movie Brave. She wouldn't just sit and live the life of an ordinary princess. For Merida, that was too boring, and she wanted more. She needed adventure. She needed excitement. In this version of the princess drawn by DeviantArt, user JokerHeart472, it looks like Merida hasn't given up on her sense of adventure. In fact, she probably longs for it even more. Her crazy hair fits more perfectly with this version of her than it ever did with the version that had to always wear long, flowing princess gowns. By choosing to put this photo in black and white, the artist gives it a classic flair, all while making Merida look even more of a boss. We didn't think that was even possible. This Merida also has several piercings. That must have been extremely painful to sit through, but even those just prove that there is nothing that this version of the princess can endure. We would have liked to see how this Merida would have handled some of the obstacles in Brave. She definitely would have gone about things a bit differently, don't you think? We doubt she would have ever let her mother try to tame her. That would be a great sequel. Tinkerbell. Most Disney princesses don't have attitudes. They are kind and deal with whatever hand they are dealt. Tinkerbell, however, is not like that. When she wants something and doesn't get it, she always makes it abundantly clear that she is unhappy. That's why it's so interesting to see her given an exterior that matches her sassy interior. In this version of Tinkerbell, drawn by Nada St. Art, Tinkerbell looks like a complete bad girl. She is still a fairy and therefore miniature in size, but she still doesn't seem like someone that we would want to mess with. One of our favorite parts about Nada St. Art's drawings is that she always finds a way to put the characters in a setting that lets us know what year this photo takes place. For this photo, it's the Xbox controllers. This lets us know that this version of Tinkerbell exists in the modern day. She is also wearing some pretty cool hardcore sneakers. We wonder if those shoes are actually real. If so, we need to find out where we can get them ASAP. We also wonder how Peter Pan would have reacted to this version of Tinkerbell. Would he have paid attention to her like she deserved? Or would he still have been more focused on Wendy? We guess we will never know. Elsa. You can't get more rebellious than Elsa. She can freeze whole cities. Can you? We don't think so. Though Elsa's character in the film was amazing and powerful on her own, she spent the entire film being afraid of her power instead of embracing it. She was sort of timid and never really got to live up to her full potential. That's why we like to see Elsa reimagined as someone more confident. We like to see her take ownership of how awesome she is and not make excuses for it. This picture of Elsa does just that. As a part of the Disney Hardcore series, this version of Elsa is a force to be reckoned with. Along with her amazing amazing powers. This girl has a sly look in her eyes that makes you feel like she will freeze you at any point. Her smirk also conveys the confidence that we were hoping Elsa would develop all throughout the movie Frozen. We are loving her makeup in this picture. The smoky eye is the perfect contrast to her frosty pale skin. The snowflake clips in her long white braid are also a nice touch. We would like to see the rest of the characters in Frozen made up like this, especially Elsa's sister, Anna. You hear that, Disney? Let's get on it. Rapunzel. Rapunzel spent most of her life locked up and forced to follow someone else's rules. She never really got to express herself or do what she wanted. She couldn't even choose when to cut her hair on her own. But throughout the course of Tangled, she was able to discover herself and be more confident. This version of Rapunzel takes that confidence one step further. Just look at the look in Rapunzel's eyes in this photo. She looks downright mischievous. We wonder what she's got planned. Her long blonde hair that her captor loved and cherished so much is now a super cool gray color that no doubt would have drove the evil witch crazy. That in itself is an act of rebellion. Not to mention the many tattoos that she now has all over her body. If you look closely, you can see that she has rather large gauges in her ears as well, all things that she would have never been allowed to do in the movie. As part of the Disney Hardcore project, this photo definitely shows a new side to Rapunzel that we haven't seen before, but always wanted to. After spending most of her life cooped up in a tower all alone, Rapunzel deserves to rebel a little and to get out and have fun, don't you think? That's it for 10 Disney princesses reimagined as modern-day bad girls. Do you like this version of them or the originals better? Tell us why in the comments.